Welcome to Epic Begins with One Step Forward. I'm your host, Zander Sprague, and I am so excited that you're here today. Let me start off with my thought of the day. Acknowledging your awesomeness. You know, stop downplaying all the wins that you have. Seems like it's human nature to not want to talk about the great things that we're achieving. And you know, we can't do that. It's just not good. Now, I was recently giving a speech and there was people coming up and telling me how much they liked what I said. And I found myself downplaying that. And that was wrong. I somehow listened to people who said they didn't like something about my speech. Now that's important, but you want to know what? If more people are telling you they like what you're saying, listen to that. Because you're awesome. Own your strengths, right? We all have things that we're really good at. I love public speaking. I love getting to do this TV show, so I'm owning that. And by owning that doesn't mean that you're being cocky or conceited. It simply means that you're acknowledging what you're good at. Now, I want you to do me a favor. Write down 3 things that you're great at, and then say them out loud every day so you can hear the things that you're great at. Now, I got an update for you. It's more of a general one. It's boldly proclaiming your dreams. I'm going to talk with my guest about the dreams that he's had, but more importantly, the dreams I've had. I dreamed of writing a book. I did it 3 times. I dreamed of this TV show for so long. When I was like 12, I said, I want my own TV show. And now I'm making it happen. So when you boldly proclaim what it is that you want, you put it out in the universe, you want to know what? These things can come true. And in fact, they're much more likely to because you're putting it out there. You're telling people what you want to do. And so many people will support you in your dreams. Now, I am so excited to have this epic guest. Today, I am joined by Anthony Trucks. Anthony has an unbelievably epic story to tell us. And Anthony, welcome. Tell us a little about who you are.
Oh yeah, well, thanks for having me first off. I am a man of faith, I'm a husband, I'm a father, I am a speaker as well. I'm a coach, consultant, I do a lot of things. I essentially am a human being who is trying to have a fun human experience, man.
Absolutely. Now, we're gonna go a little in the Wayback Machine.
It's fine, yeah.
You're a gifted athlete.
Yeah, well, I used to be much more than I am now, but yeah.
Okay.
I athletics.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, we again acknowledge our awesomeness.
Yeah, I still get down a little bit. Until my knees hurt.
You played D1 college ball.
I did. I played at Oregon and then the NFL for a few years. Yeah.
Yeah, you did. Mm-hmm. Look at how he's just sort of down. Well, yeah, you know, Oregon Ducks. Mm-hmm. And NFL.
It was
and
fun.
Stuff.
I take nothing from it. I think the thing for me is I've now come to find I'm vastly more than those things. So I don't downplay them. I just know that they are not the core part of my
Absolutely,
persona. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I've read, you know, about people who were former athletes mm-hmm. and stuff, especially getting to the level that you were at, where that transition sometimes from being the athlete, because that was a huge part of your identity.
Yeah.
Can be really hard where people are like, I play football. Mm-hmm. I'm a linebacker. Mm-hmm. I'm known for doing this. I'm at the top of my game. I made it to the NFL.
Yeah.
And then when that ends, there's a lot of, now what?
Yeah.
Who am I now? Mm-hmm. And so for you, I mean, I'm interested to know, what was it like playing at Oregon? Because I've heard about these huge D1 programs like, were you connected with the other students, or were you honestly really isolated, like just in the football program?
It's a good question. I was pretty isolated. I think you kind of are, though. the way they do it, football players are different than most athletes.
Yeah.
They can't leave you to your own devices for too long. So we have a, say, practice and practice gets done or something at 10 in the morning. Like they have to have something by like 10:30, 10:45. If they give you till 11, somebody's leaving and they might end up in jail.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but the guys are knuckleheads. So yeah, football, you're there all day. And so you just kind of get used to it. And so while I have classes, yeah, I go to class, do my thing, go home. My primary attention isn't on school usually. It's on get school done the best I can. And then now I got to worry about this team coming up, or I got to get stronger in the weight room, or whatever it is. And then you have shared struggles. So when you have shared struggles with certain people, which is your teammates, that's who you bond deeper with. So you have free time. I'm not going to go and find people that are, hanging out at the Starbucks or, the coffee shop. No, nothing against them, but it's not, I don't know them.
Right.
Whereas I know my teammates, and we just had this long practice, and we can talk about how hard it was, and you can have this shared struggle, so you bond. And yeah, so I have some friends that were non-athletes, but I think I can count them on two fingers.
Yeah.
Like quite literally.
And was it a lonely experience going here? Here I'm on a campus of, I don't know, like 20,000, 30,000 people, and I only know these 60 people.
No, because those 60 people wanted to know me. Vice versa, those 20,000 wanted to know the 60 of us. And it's not like I was great, but it's like when you are the football player, like that's the thing that they see I was on billboards, and I was prominently around. So you had a little more notoriety. The funny thing was most people didn't know it was me because I had a helmet on. So in school, like they didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
So it was kind of interesting, a little dance, but no, I didn't feel anything. I had a son when I was a sophomore year in college, and so I had my fiance, and I had my son, and I had my football team, and it's pretty set, man. I don't look back on those years and feel like I missed anything. It would have been interesting to me to know what it was like to have no practice.
Sure.
Like not tied to a foot, like I can go to the coffee shop or the pizza place and hang out with friends, like, and then go to school, like that was it.
Yeah.
That's an intriguing thought, but I would not want to replace my experience with that experience of college.
Absolutely. Now, because I'm interested, I know a little about University of Oregon.
Yeah.
Can you just share what is the inside of that Phil Knight football center that you got? Because it looks sweet.
Beautiful. Well, I didn't play in the most recent, currently built one.
Right.
But I have had many tours. So when I go back there, which we probably go back once or twice a year, my son attended there for a couple of years before he transferred to Houston for track. But it's beautiful. It's you're like in a spaceship, man. But they design it that way. And it's supposed to be the most cutting edge, top of the line thing. So when you get there, it's what it is. And I think they're always trying to find a way to still be prominent. So I think they probably have more projects in mind that they're going to wait until someone gets a little bit of an edge in something and then go, well, we built this now.
Yeah.
And they keep doing that. Like right now they're building this beautiful outdoor, like replacing the current outdoor, what's called indoor facility. It's outdoors.
Yeah.
But it's an indoor facility for doing everything, obviously away from the,
elements,
the weather and the elements. And so, but this one it's new. We used to have one called the Mashofsky Center, which has been around forever, and it's a beautiful building. But this is going to be one that's all like state of the art. It's like they curved the O logo to make the roof of it. So the circle of the O becomes like the skylight. Like it is crazy looking.
That is.
But they'll always do that. That's kind of the thing that Nike does, is stays out in front.
Definitely. So you played in the NFL.
I did, yeah.
What was that like? Was that sort of much the same of your Oregon experience, or was it like vastly different?
Vastly different.
Okay, tell us about that epic experience.
In college, you have it home. Like, back when I was in college, it was you get there, you get a scholarship, be there for 4 years. Yeah. Now it's like you could be there for a year and you're gone, or they may not even renew your scholarship. Yeah. It's a very interesting dance. But when I got to college, like that's your home. Like I bleed that. I still yellow and green's my thing. Mm-hmm. And in the NFL, it's interesting because they tell you every day, like if you don't figure this out, we're gonna get someone who does.
Yeah.
And you could have a job today and quite literally no job tomorrow. Happened to me, 3 times. And so the dance of it is where it's just cutthroat. It's very cutthroat. It's very competitive. It's very alpha. There is a space you have to get into with the gritty, aggressive part of your humanity that you have to stay locked into and have that be in control, and then bring that person to the film room, to the weight room, to everywhere, and then you kind of almost can't turn them off. There's times you can, but you have to be at that level, because what happens is, in my position where I was coming in, there's always someone gunning for your job, and you're gunning for a job too. Now you get to a certain level where you have, maybe you're a first round draft pick out on money that you're kind of secure, but you still have the pressure of performing because of how they're paying you. So it's just very uncomfortable. So when you hear that statement of you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable, it lives and breathes there. And the interesting thing I tell people is they don't comprehend that when I say comfortable, if you think of the most comfortable place you've been, or what most comfortable setting, like for me, I go, man, the wintertime, you got a nice blanket, the fire's going, you got a cup of hot coffee, or or the tea or hot cocoa, you're sitting there watching your favorite movie with your family. Like, that's comfort. I could be like, oh, I can have that moment last forever. That's how you have to have a feeling in the space of discomfort. And meaning, like, I gotta go hit this guy as hard as I can. It's a buddy of mine too, or I gotta perform this movement, whatever it is, and you have to be okay with just, like, not even okay, comfortable in that space. When you do, when you settle into it, you can dominate. But if not, you will not be there very long. They say the other acronym for NFL is not National Football League, but not for long.
Yeah. And I would say, I mean, there's lots of stuff. If you're not doing it, someone else will. And
quickly.
And quickly.
Thousands of guys want your job.
I guess the mental health professional in me says, all right, so were you literally walking around when you were in the NFL like in a constant state of anxiety?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I'd call it anxiety. It's just what's required at that level. But yes, think about it. You ever like?
I think I'd define it as anxiety.
You could.
Well, because you're just always worried.
You're always what?
Yeah. What if I mess up? What if I what if I miss that tackle? Oh my God, am I out of job now?
Yeah. Think about it. Every single day is competition.
Yeah.
It's not like I can choose, like, I'm gonna kind of compete today, or like, it's not like playing checkers. It's me and my body physically on the line. If I don't figure it out, my family doesn't have food.
Yeah.
So there's a tension that you have to be able to toe the line and be okay handling. So yes, every day it's there. It's just, but if you fall in love with it, that's the interesting thing. When you fall in love and you learn to have comfort in that space, the anxiety floats away.
Yeah.
But you have to love that. You have to actually embrace the gritty discomfort and have fun with it. I don't know how to explain it more than that.
Okay.
Because if there's certain actions that have to be done, the people that do the actions get the outcome. If you have tension and anxiety every day around doing that, it's gonna be harder for you to get the outcome. But if you somehow fall in love with that, it becomes easier to get the outcome. Emotionally, at least.
Absolutely, and I can understand. If that's just sort of the way you're operating, we're incredibly adaptable
very much so.
Human beings. So you go, all right, well, this is just,
so the brain does.
This is what I gotta do, and so then you, as you said, get used to it, lean into it.
That's it.
And stuff.
Because if not, then sucks for you if you don't.
It does. Unfortunately, you got injured, so you
came home,
retired. I read lots of stuff about like being in the NFL and the number of things that are just sort of taking care of you. You just show up. There's food. There's
schedule's done, what to do, where to be.
There's doctors. There's trainers. There's like everything. You travel. You just got to show up, and they put you on a bus, put you on a plane.
Food taken care of, hotel room done. Give you a key card. Yeah, it's all done.
Exactly. Yeah. So when all of that ended, and I'm guessing it ended kind of abruptly.
Oh, very much so. Yeah.
Was there a transition period where all of a sudden you're like, oh, it's only me whose pleasure it is to get me a meal, or
I don't know if I would say that it was only me. What it is I use this metaphor, and you mentioned earlier identity, which is really where a lot of my work ties in, and it comes from my walk of life because I didn't have the smoothest transition.
Sure.
A tough one. But what happens is I look at us all like metaphorically we're this tree of life, right? And there's this amazing fruit, and the fruit in the tree is the fruit of your labor, right? And what happens is if you only see yourself as that piece of fruit, well, the fruit falls off the tree and it rolls around in the ground, and like any piece of fruit, it'll last for a little bit, right? It's not gonna go rotten immediately. It's gonna eventually ripen, and then it can be eaten, right? So, but it can go from there to the farmer's, a truck to the grocery store to your house, and still sit at your house for a couple of weeks before it goes bad. I say it because in life, when football ended, for a little while, you're still close enough to it to go like, I'm not too bad. Like I used to play in the NFL, maybe I go back, and then you keep going, and then 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, a year goes by, and you're like, oh, and like that piece of fruit, you start having that rot set in, and that rot's the emotional feeling of like, oh, who am I about this game?
Definitely.
And that's when it settles in. That's when you wake up to the fact that no one's wanting to talk to you anymore the same way they used to. You're not on TV. No one's wanting to interview you. You're not getting free stuff in the mail to try on and wear. Like, it's a whole different thing. And then, yes, you don't have a schedule set for you.
Yeah.
I used to know when to wake up to my meeting, and then the meetings, X, Y, Z was always taken care of, whereas now it's like, I got to get up. run my day? Is the right stuff to do? Am I able to making money? Like all these things progress through. So it's a very interesting transition, and most people lose themselves in it.
Definitely. In my book, I talk about the importance of structure, and that actually structure makes us as human beings feel comfortable.
Same, yeah.
So, and I totally hear what you're saying, because for the longest period of time, at least from college up through your NFL career,
It's all done.
They handed you a schedule.
Every day.
Very easy for you to go, here's when I get up, here's where I have a meeting, here's where I have a workout, here's... And it's actually really easy to
adhere to it.
Execute. You're like, this is all, I don't even have to worry about it. Here's what I'm doing right now. Obviously, when all of that ends, we're all capable of creating structure, but if you've never actually done it, I can imagine it's a bit of a rough go to go.
Is. Took me 3 years.
I'm sure.
Just to figure out how to run my schedule took me 3 years. I've now mastered the whole process, but the way I'll explain professional athletes, which is if you've ever been an athlete or anybody in a profession of any sort, especially for athletics, the schedule portion is where because it's done, I get to just step in and execute and play at my game speed.
Yeah.
I just show up and I can be me and give to it, right? I'm not worried about the structure of what to do. So all I'm doing, I'm cutting, but I'm not sharpening. And the problem is, if you'd ever learn how to sharpen or do the schedule portion, you could have all that dormant, intangible ability to go hard and execute, but you're hindered from the fact that you don't have a plan you can trust.
Yeah.
So I say it took me 3 years. I was running around, my life, my marriage fell apart, everything fell apart. And I got to the point I'm going I got to figure this stuff out. And then I got, in 2011, I think it was, introduced to a very basic system of calendaring. I'm like, oh, so I just take my ideas of what I want to do and I organize it and put it into this. And so in 2011, I started rocking and rolling. Now I teach actually people, a lot of them, how to structure and schedule and organize.
Yeah.
Because most people, if you say, hey, here's your day to do, your focus and energy is spent on doing, not thinking about doing. I can drain myself in thinking about doing, so when I'm supposed to do, I go, nah, I'll do it tomorrow,
Like anything, I mean, structure does make us feel...
It does. It does what you do.
And I find it funny that up through, I'll say, high school or college, if you go into college, your whole life is structured.
Yeah.
You know when you got to be at class. You're not, at high school, after the first week, you weren't stressed about how to get from your first period class to your second period class, because you knew how to do it.
Yeah,
you might have been worried about the tests that you had coming in second period, but you weren't worried about actually getting there. And yet as adults, we go, oh, you need structure. Oh, no, I don't want structure. From a psychological standpoint, structure is literally a basic survival skill. If we know our environment, we know what's around, we're more relaxed.
It's the knowing. The brain wants to know. 100%.
Again, it's a survival thing, right? I know that I know if we go way back to the cave people, you're like, I know the area outside of my cave. I know where the trees are. I know where the plants are. I know where predators are. By and large. So, I can totally relate to the floundering of I've had someone telling me where to show up, and all of a sudden now it's me. How do I do that? I'm happy that you found some structure.
Me too.
And the power. I can tell you, as an entrepreneur, when I use structure, when I use the schedule I set for myself, my workday is so much easier. Because look, there's 50 things I got to be doing all at once, but I can really only do one thing at a time. So
what's the most important one thing?
Exactly, and schedule it out. If by writing it down and going, I'm doing emails here, phone calls here, I'm doing research for my TV show, I'm finding guests. That's the task I know I need to work on. Really easy. So
I think sometimes even another layer deeper is when I look at it, a lot of people know the tasks to get done, but then they're starting to question in the middle of having that task on the docket, should I be doing this, or what about this, or what about this? And so one of the things I found was actually allocate time to each task and then importance of it. And I usually plan my calendar 4 to 6 weeks out.
Sure.
So this way I know if you want my time in a certain window, I can look at it and go, I don't really have anything. I have it blocked off as personal time. I'm sure I'll find something to do. So I'll tell you no. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm available in 5 weeks.
Yep.
And it's the thing where, because if not, then what happens is when I do need that time, I've given it to you and I can't focus.
Definitely.
Or I've found that some people will try to plan everything they got to get done in the next 2 weeks.
Yep.
And then it's like this overwhelming feeling. And I go, no, just spread it out. And then what happens is I get to, I don't know, next week, Wednesday. And now what happens, I'm working on whatever project I'm on the docket to do. I'm not worried about the other one because it's going to happen next week or the week after. I know it's in the calendar somewhere.
Absolutely.
I can be at peace.
Absolutely. I years ago ran marathons, and I thought, how the heck am I ever going to train to run 26.2 miles? And I joined Team in Training, which is the fundraising side of Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. They handed me a training schedule.
It's perfect.
Oh my God, made it so much easier.
Yeah.
I'd look at it just like you did for, at football, and goes, go run for 45 minutes. Okay.
Easy to do, yeah.
And then once I was done, that was it. I was done with...
I did a half Ironman. I know the same thing. We used to run and swim and bike. We do all the same thing, my wife and I, same stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, just follow it and get done.
And I laugh sometimes because I talk about, I'm really good at multitasking. My own life experience and my professional training says, no.
No, you just switch tasks real quick.
But I have not met the person who can type an email with their left hand and create a budget with their right hand.
No.
You can't do it.
No, you switch tasks. Your brain has to keep up and then not lose the open loops.
Or you can do two things at once, but you're not doing either one of them
To full potential.
at full potential. And so you transitioned out of being in the NFL. Clearly a bit of a rough...
A little bit, you can say that?
A little, okay, no problem. But then now you're a successful speaker, trainer. You just did a TEDx talk.
I'm going to, actually.
Oh, you're going to,
Going
sorry.
to, yeah. Next
Congratulations.
March, I believe, yeah, thank you. And I honestly didn't even want to do it. It was weird. Someone was like, hey, I could do this for you. I'm like, I don't know, because my world of speaking, it's not that I go out and pay to speak.
Yeah.
Like I get paid to go in and do things. And so the idea of a TEDx, the brand is amazing. I love TEDx talks myself. And I'm like, I don't know where it fits into the wheelhouse of what benefits my brand.
Definitely.
And for me, it's like the even reason, I've never got my master's. The NFL would pay for it, but I don't have a use for it. So I'm like, why would I do that to not get a return? But the TEDx thing became something where someone put it in front of me. They're like, just go do it, and they'll pay for having all the stuff done. So I'm like, all right. So I just put the idea out, and then 4 months in, got a booked, and I'm gonna go do my thing in March, which I'm excited for, because it's a different way to approach the concept of what I do. I get to actually unpack an idea as opposed to try and, we'll call it motivate the audience, so to speak. I get to really get in the pocket of, here's a thought I've had, and it's, depth of it, and really express it in a heartfelt way. So I'm looking forward to it.
Definitely. Well, congratulations. I'm ever hopeful that I'll get a TEDx. I'm out there putting my idea out there, but it is a challenging thing. Some people, they're like, again, you have the notoriety, or you just simply have the idea that organizer is like, yes, we want, and that's great. What are you teaching people about? You talked about teaching them some structure and stuff like that, and the importance of that. I'm totally on board with that. So tell me a little about that.
It's a component of what I teach.
Sure.
So the work that I do is tied to my life. The way I explain my brand's called dark work. It's the work you do in the dark that allows you to shine in the light or be undeniable in the light. So for example, the things you're doing here, right? We're in front of the lights quite literally. There are things you did that nobody saw you do.
Absolutely.
Late nights, early mornings, by yourself, solo. And everybody has that. The problem is they don't realize how critical it is, and I think it's paramount to having success in some future light you want to step into. So when I look at my life, I went through a lot of dark moments. I had to build in the dark. No one's celebrating me. It's not sexy and it's not amazing. But at some point in time, the dark work I had to do was different for the goal I had in mind. So as a kid, the dark work was be an athlete. So lift weights, run routes, do football stuff, Then it was academics, same thing for academics. As I've gotten older, the dark work changes. The dark work turns into me being the CEO of my company, or lead my team in certain areas, or my family in certain areas. One thing I've noticed is when I get to be an entrepreneur, right? That area of being that person, the dark work I have to do is execution. I think the way I look at the world is it's not what you know, but who you are with what you know.
Sure.
That's where identity ties in. There are people that me and you probably know that are borderline idiots, but they're very successful financially. And I go, how is this person doing that? And then I go, oh, it's because they have this muscle of execution that is leaps and bounds among most people. Then some people, you give them all the information. You can give them the entire book right in their hand and they'll never be successful.
Yep.
And the only separation is who they are with that information.
Definitely.
So what I've come to find is part of that is also going, if I know what I got to do, how do I take that and get it executable, which is where I type into the idea of structure and execution and scheduling. So while that's not the thing I teach, I wouldn't go like, I teach scheduling, no. But I do go down the path of going, well, what do you want? Who must you be to have that? Because it's not what you would desire, but it's who you are that gets the thing you desire. And then if that's the case, well, how do I make that part of your day-to-day to where it naturally becomes who you are to do it?
Yeah.
For example, the things you did, 23 episodes ago, they're probably a little bit like uncertain or a little bit stress, or you'd say anxiety around. I'm sure there's vastly less of it or none of it at all in the same way it was then. The only difference between you then and you now is you went through an experience.
Absolutely.
And that experience wires you.
Right, and you were talking about the dark work and stuff, and I smiled for two similar but different reasons. One, when I was training for that marathon, I did 10 halves, 4 fulls, and a 50K ultra when I was running. All of that, I was running at 5 in the morning. So half the year, I am doing the dark work. I am in the dark running.
Yeah.
Because that's when I knew I could get it done,
Yeah.
and then I didn't have to worry about it. It was part of my structure, my schedule.
Yeah, it wires you.
And so then when I did run it in daylight, I knew how to do it. I'd already done that work.
Yeah.
You were mentioning about my TV show. Before I even said, all right, now I'm launching the TV show, I did a lot of work to understand what I wanted, how I wanted it to look, who I wanted on the show, the theming and all of that.
Yeah.
Then I had to find a place to come do it. It's great to have the idea, but like,
how do you make it real?
How do I make it real? How can I find it? And I was lucky enough that Contra Costa TV, where we are, they have a phenomenal studio that I'm able to use, that I'm filming in right now, and it all worked out.
Yeah.
But you're right, and that first episode I was a little nervous, but also perhaps the idiot who goes, well, I don't know what I don't know, but I don't care, so I'm just gonna do it. But I do believe a lot of us have epic dreams, and we think we need all the answers.
No, you don't get them.
And you're not going to have it. And
you're not supposed to have it.
And so, that's the way, that's kind of the way that life is. We don't have the answers, but we should still take those steps forward.
100% should, because that's where you become who you are. Everybody I've learned to in life, either you make these adjustments and shifts either on demand or when crap hits the fan.
Yep.
Something goes crazy and I got to fix it, or I go, I'm gonna go try this thing.
Definitely.
And that's the most dangerous person. And one of the things that I've noticed, like the dark work does, it's not just that the dark work helps you achieve, because the dark work did help you achieve the run, the show, all this kind of stuff, right? But the more important piece is that it rewires your identity.
Yep.
There's this different sense of confidence or how you see yourself when you approach something that I can take from here and apply to baking, right, if I wanted to, just something random. But the idea is like, I know how to solve problems. I know how to navigate something because I've navigated something. So the execution is a critical piece, and you don't get the information until you've earned the information. Because most people they read books, right? They take courses. Well, where'd that information come?
Exactly.
Some trailblazer went out, did the dark work, figured it out, beat their head against the wall a couple times, so you don't have to now.
Yep.
So that's kind of the idea of all the things we're talking about, is it's always hidden behind you doing things that aren't celebrated, they're not sexy. People probably make funny at times doing it. It's misunderstood or ridiculed. And the reality is that is the pathway to that confidence you seek later. And it honestly, sometimes just needs to be as hard as possible, because everything I'm proud of, that all of us are proud of, we're usually proud of it. And if you look back, it's because it was really, really hard.
Yep.
So if I desire pride and confidence in something, we can't find the shortcut. You shouldn't look for the easy way. You got to go, hey, the short way is the long way. The hard way is the easy way, right? I'm gonna go. And you go through it, and you realize that when you get through that, not what if, but when you get through it, you're never the same on the backside.
Absolutely. Anthony, I want to thank you so much for coming in.
Yeah.
It has been really an epic conversation. I appreciate all that you shared. And how can people get a hold of you if they want to learn more about dark work?
Oh, yeah, easy. You go to darkwork.com. It's right there.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me. Seriously.
Well, I want to thank all of you for tuning in. I want to remind you that if you're ready to begin your epic journey, go to epicbegins.com. And as always, remember that epic choices start with an epic life.